Good morning, everybody. This picture perfect Albuquerque July morning. And what a great day to kick off.
Hold on.
This is just a really nice day to kick off the Mile High Market. This, I believe it's the 5th year?
No, since 2014.
6th, 7th. This is the 6th year. Well, math has never been one of our strong points here, but we've been here for a long time. Mile High Market has been here for a long time, and it's really been a pleasure and a source of pride, sincerely, watching this market evolve from the conceptual, which was a really great idea, to what we have now, and all of the arduous steps in between that is taken to establish this marketplace. There he goes. I don't recall all of the people who were at the inception, but I know Darcy was there, Robert was there, Patrick Scott. I haven't seen Patrick yet today. And, you know, some of the people who are here right now. But they were the visionaries. They knew exactly that it was something exactly like this, the activities that we see here today, that return lasting rewards that we're all enjoying. And since the market started, and at least in part because the market being here, the city has put in many improvements here. We put in 110-volt electrical down at the south end of the park. The bike share, which regrettably it's gone now that business went out of business, but hopefully, you know, in better times to come, we'll be able to replace it with something very much like that to promote transportation by bike. Let's see, we've done some improvements with the play area, the kids' play areas, and just recently we put in solar lighting. The City Parks Department came out here and they put in some city lighting, so that really helps this park. And I can tell you, as your city councilor here, the issues around parks are one of the most common things that we hear about in my office. Abby and I hear from our constituents about, and usually they're complaints, right? But they're usually about the misuse or abuse of a city park. And commonly it means trash, litter, but it can be other things as well. But it's something that in some way the park was abused in some way or not taken care of. But as the problems like that arise, the attentive park users tend to start to stay away some more. Unfortunately, that leaves more space and opportunity for users who are really less invested. So the activities in the park, including this Mile High Market, check off all of the boxes important to urban life. One of those big thing is keeping the park vital and an important part of the community. It checks off all of the boxes for me as a counselor in building of community, establishing connections and relationships, developing economies, supporting our local businesses, and strengthening safety and security. And I know there's a lot more, but that's just a starting place. Last thing I want to do is I really want to offer my thanks to some organizations and people who, without their devotion to this concept, we wouldn't have a Mile High Market. Robert Habiger, who's going to be speaking here in just a moment, for his hard work and commitment to the neighborhood and the market. To Charlene, the assistant manager, Rio Grande Credit Union, always a good community partner. Christy Mays, another one, Christy Mays Restaurant over in San Pedro. Just a wonderful restaurant and great people who work over there. Kitson Law is another wonderful partner that we have for the market and for this area. But in particular, I have to extend my thanks to Darcy Bushnell, who's worked so hard to ensure the Mile High Market is a success year after year. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you. She never complains, even when she has had to start the permitting process in January to make sure it's ready by now. I heard about one time and she was never complaining. Particularly in this year, you know, with COVID-19 and all of the difficulties that has brought with it, she's just been relentless. She does so much for this market and for the park and for the neighborhood, and I'm so grateful for her because not only does she keep me informed, but she puts in hundreds of hours a month, not only with the Mile High Market, but with neighborhood issues in the park here. She does whatever it takes to tend to the urgent matters while always anticipating the next thing that's bound to be coming up. Besides that, and this is really, really important, Darcy collaborates on behalf of the Mile High Market with other local markets, sharing best practices and really to the benefit for not only all of the markets, but for the city and their users. So again, thank you very much, Darcy. So we also have a representative, a state representative here with us today. I'm just barely outside of her district, but I consider her my state representative. She's certainly one of my favorite state representatives, and that's Representative Christine Trujillo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here. I love the Mile High Market simply because I don't have a green thumb, and everything I grow turns brown. So this is my avenue for getting fresh produce. I was dying when they told us that this would be canceled or postponed. And then Darcy, our queen over here, sent us another reminder and told us that it would be open today. So I'm thrilled. I've already gotten a lot of items because I love what they grow. I love the people that they bring in here. But mostly, I love what's been done to this park. And thanks to Councilor Gibson, to Darcy, of course, to all of her help, and to our commissioners, this is a very usable, very used park. I come for walks and there's always someone here. People socially distance here. I have very rarely seen anyone without a mask, and that's been good. I think there was one case one time where someone was being not nice. But in reality, capital outlay that I have been asked for, I've donated to the city for the use of this park and other parks in my district. But to me, this is the park, because I'm just down the street, by the way. My home is down the street. This is the park that I use most. And so the use of the capital outlay money really comes in handy. So I believe that the investment is a wise one. As you can see with the turnout here, that it's important for everyone that lives here and works around here. These are my neighbors. That's right. And so it's important that people continue to have good use of this, using social distancing. And when this all goes away, we can have an ice cream party like we used to. Thank you so much.
So we also have Commissioner Collie. Are you ready? You want me to hold the dog, or are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Commissioner Collie and the commissioners of District 3 have been very, very important in providing funding to make this market happen. And we want to thank them very much.
What is happening today is a successful demonstration of what it means to have a local initiative that becomes a regional event. And what happens when a neighborhood reaches out to farmers in the South Valley and out in Bernalillo County is an incredibly important thing, because you get to eat local, you get to see local, you get to enjoy local, you get to buy local, and it's basically what neighborhoods are about. So the County Commission District 3 is really, really glad to be here, is appreciative of Councilor Gibson, and knows the kind of work that has to happen locally with the Neighborhood Association president and with Darcy, who's just the volunteer par excellence for this area. So we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming, and we look forward to this extending all the way through October on Saturdays. Come if you can.
Robert, would you like to?
I'm Robert Habiger, president of the Alvarado Park Neighborhood Association. Back in 2014, when this was first thought about, the whole initiative was to bring out people to meet each other, to meet our community members, to see who we are, to know who we are. In the sense of getting more activity in the park, we knew that that would start leading to less problems in the park. So our idea was to get people out, and that's what's happened. To build community by knowing each other, by seeing each other, being together with each other, enjoying each other. And I just want to thank Councilor Gibson for being such a big part of helping us get this all together. Not only the park improvements, but just letting us have the activities that we want to have. It's so vital. So thank you, Councilor Gibson.
You're welcome.
I'm Darcy Bushnell, and I am the manager of this market. I've been with the market since 2014 as both the manager and on the board. We are dedicated to giving our local businesses an outlet that they might not otherwise have. Our people in the neighborhoods, there are 3 neighborhoods who support this activity, actively support it. That's Mile High, which is to the south of us, Mark Twain, which is to the east of us, and Alvarado Park Neighborhood Associations all support this activity. And this year, because of COVID, it has been truly exciting getting the market up and off the ground. You see we have caution tape, we've made aisles, we have a limited access, exit and entrance. Everyone's required to wear a mask or a face shield. And it is our hope that we will get through this COVID season, providing these kinds of access to neighbors and to folks who need access to good local food. We also provide access to EBT, SNAP, Double Up, WIC, and senior supplement that is provided by the government for people of lower incomes who need access to food. So it is we're very glad to have you all here, and thank you for coming.
Yay, Darcy. So are there any questions, anything that you haven't had a chance to ask others yet? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question. I know Darcy kind of touched on how this market is different, the precautions that are being taken, but can you talk a little bit more? I mean, was there a permit that's needed? And how does this work with the governor's public health orders against mass gatherings? Would this be considered a mass gathering under that order? Can you talk a little bit more about the steps that are being taken so this is allowed under the public health order?
Yes. So we put together a list of rules, COVID basic rules, and they've been approved by the city, which takes its direction from the governor. We have signage up that encourages people to do 6-foot distancing, social distancing, the masks. We're not allowing people in who do not have masks, but there are people who cannot wear a mask. And so we have set up an arrangement where people can come to the manager's tent and look at what we have available this particular day, and then one of us will go out and collect those things from the different folks. And that way we hope to accommodate people who are not able to wear masks. There are other, as I said, this caution tape creates aisles, so there's not crossing over. We've limited access, again, sort of like a grocery store. And we also keep count. In this area, we were given a formula by the city, or the fire marshal's office, and so we can allow 30 people in at a time.
If there's a vendor out there watching, do they have to be from this neighborhood?
Oh, no.
How can they get involved?
They can reach out on our Facebook page, Mile High Farmers Market. We have an email address. I can be reached at 505-379-5335. So there are ways for people. They can come and talk to me at the manager's table.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we encourage anyone who's a vendor who wants to vend to get in touch. They have to have a city license and permits and so forth as that. But we also carry a permit so that people who have excess produce from their gardens, their home gardens, can come on a 1 or 2 time basis and sell their excess produce. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of you for coming out. As the season comes along, it's been a tough growing season along with COVID. And so our farmers say, I'm having more a little bit later in the year, so there will be more as we go along. Thank you.